So something that drives me crazy about Christmas movies, for kids' Christmas movies, not like you know, is that there is this thing that they do where like you're making this movie for kids to see, and yet no adults believe in Santa Claus in the movie. This movie
Hmm.
implies that none of the adults, but they never say it outright. Like
Okay.
even like when the dad when Ralphie's going back for the rifle and she's like, who's that one from? And he goes, I don't know, Santa.
Oh,
Like,
no, Santa.
yeah, we as adults can be like, oh, he's being silly or being playful with her, but the kids aren't going to be like, you know, oh, why is that grown up not believe in Santa? He must see the presents come for his kid that aren't from him, right? So we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, or today, because it's still daytime.
Today we may lose some subscribers.
I don't think maybe. I'm okay with it. Today we're going to talk about the 1983 classic, and if you're listening and not watching, those were strong air quotes. A Christmas Story. You probably know it as the Leg Lamp movie. Yeah, let's dive
Or the
right
Pink Bunny
into A
Suit
Christmas
movie.
Story.
The Pink
Yeah,
Bunny
I
Suit
did not
movie, the
remember
Leg
the
Lamp
Pink Bunny
movie.
suit until the
Oh, okay.
so let's let's dive right in on
Let's
this
dive
one.
right in.
All right.
I want you to open this one because my words are probably more evil than I don't know, but they're probably more evil than yours.
Okay, so I'm reading your notes. You're reading your first line or two of notes. I'm like, I get what he's saying, and I am slightly on the same page. But so when we get to like what it did right, what it did wrong, I actually am going to slightly disagree on the nostalgia part
Okay.
with what you said. But this movie, I disliked this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no way else to get around it. I did not like this movie, but I tried it. I did try it. Unlike Sam I Am or whatever the other one was from Green Eggs and Ham, I did try it. And so actually, I think last year I tried to watch it because I was like, everybody loves this movie. I haven't watched it since I was younger than Logan. Blah blah blah. Because when I went to put it on last night, Logan was like, "We tried to watch that last year and I hated it. I'm going upstairs to my room." And and Sarah was like, I don't want to watch that. Like Sarah's like, is it too late to
Sarah's like, I
change?
don't
Can
know.
you talk to Alex and have him change the movie that we're? I'm like, we're recording tomorrow. What do you mean? Like, and I'm like, we've already announced it. We were recording tomorrow.
Yep.
So we none of us was enthusiastic about watching it. I'm the only one who watched it all the way through. It is, it's not. I don't like it.
No, it's the
So
same thing with my wife. My wife's like, you know what? Violent Night, sure. Grinch, absolutely. This one, nope.
yep. So I think that so Alex writes in the notes how the movie poorly manufactures nostalgia, not by being warm, but by being obvious. I think that the nostalgia is accurate. So, like I said, I did not like this movie. One
When
of
you
the
say
things
accurate, what do you mean? Like that's what you would experience if you were a kid in the 50s?
it
Or
felt so it there was enough stuff that I felt like, oh yeah, this is kind of what childhood felt like growing up. And I didn't
okay.
grow up in the 50s, but I also feel like it's interesting because you got to keep in mind this is 2 years before Back to the Future, which is top 5, definitely top 10, probably top 5 movies of all time for me. Back to the Future is made in 1985, about 1955,
Mhm.
roughly. And obviously there is some, it's got a 80s influence in a different way, but
Yeah.
like this movie, other than some of the liberties with language in the script and the updated camera quality, this movie could have been 50s for me. Like this could have genuinely
Yeah.
been shot in the 50s. Other than the fact that I don't think the camera quality was that good in the 50s, but it doesn't feel 80s. It does not feel like it was made in the 80s
No,
at
it
all to
doesn't
me.
feel that over sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
80s where like everything was like really, really almost gritty sharp. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that. And obviously being of a time, all the colors were flat.
Mhm.
but they're supposed to be. They're
Right.
supposed to be muted. They're supposed to be flat.
Yeah.
So you're right. It feels like it's right on the bridge of
Yeah.
those two. It does.
So, like, to me, in that way, it actually was. I thought it was very good. Well done. In
Like
that, like
the
it,
way it handled its era.
it felt like it was very true to the time.
Yeah,
And I
I can
think
agree
that
with
there
that.
is a level of which verisimilitude can be a really good thing in a movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't want that. You want
Mm-mm.
stylized. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody talks like Tarantino characters, right? But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean we don't like Tarantino movies. You know what
No,
I
I
mean? Like,
want them to talk like that in a
right.
Tarantino film.
And you can want, and there are certain times in which you want, think about Spotlight, the movie Spotlight. That's pretty realistic, right?
Yeah.
But it's also very different. It affects the tone. Like, Spotlight is taking this very serious subject matter, and it's portraying it. It has to, like, take it seriously in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Tarantino is bombastic, right? This is like that level of Spotlight level of realism in a lot of ways. Obviously, not the Flash, not the Daydreams, right? But everything else is that, like, that level, but in a way that doesn't, like, make sense. Like it's a Christmas movie. There should be a level of, and I've seen, we're about to watch Violent Night for next week, right? And I've seen Bad Santa, so I've seen cynical adult made for adult kind of
Yeah.
Christmas movies. This, from everything I can tell, this is made for children to some extent, at least. They never really say, other than, like, they say bitch once, and I think they may say shit once. Other than that, it seems like it's very marketed towards kids. Instead of having, like, the Charlie Brown, like, want of adults, you have the swearing of the like,
Oh yeah,
gibberish
his
swearing.
manufactured swears, which is
So,
actually funny to me. It was one of the parts I like the best is how they just mashed all of his words
right.
together, and the subtitles did their best to try to write it out.
So it that part feels like it's made for kids, but it is. You wrote the not being warm part, and I agree with that entirely. I kept saying to Sarah, I'm like, it's just like, everybody feels cruel in this movie.
Yeah.
And we talked about last week. We talked about a Christmas Carol, the Muppet Christmas Carol, or any version of Christmas Carol, right? Scrooge is cruel at the beginning of that movie, but he has redemption.
Yes.
There is no character redemption in this, I don't think. One of the things that
not full send.
No.
There's some realization moments, but there isn't a full arc. No.
Yeah. There is, I actually, the thing that the vignette or the scene, because it is kind of a series of vignettes to some extent, this movie. The one that stuck, that I thought was the best, was most of Christmas Day.
Okay.
Stuck best for me, like, with the opening the presents, and I was like, because the parents were actually warm, but the parents weren't warm because they became better. They're like,
warm because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. Like, and the parents weren't actually the cruelest of the characters. Everybody was just the other kids were cruel. The
mall
teacher,
Santa was cruel.
the mall
The
Santa,
teacher,
the elves,
yeah.
like, and it was cruel in a way that didn't feel like it served any purpose except for, like, that's what a little kid feels like life is. And
yeah,
they didn't give it any power. Like, in other movies where you're trying to show a kid, like, this is what what childhood is like,
okay,
they give the kid power, or they give some redemption, or they explain something. And it didn't seem to be for any purpose other than, when I was a kid, I hated grown-ups, and grown-ups are going to be mean as fuck in this movie, right?
Did you?
No, I'm saying,
when you were young. Oh, okay. Because I loved grown-ups when I was young.
No, I'm saying it feels like the writer felt that way. Like, it felt like when I was a kid, this is what happened. So, like, and it doesn't work for me. And so I want to get into I have some real interesting hot takes when we get there. But yeah, okay. So
for me, it's a grown man editing his childhood in, like, real time, like like when he gets his Red Ryder range model 200 shot carbine, BB gun.
Yeah.
And he's shooting the baddies like they're in the striped suits with the
Yeah.
bandana on. It is, and he's in like a sparkly TV cowboy,
Hmm.
like rhinestone cowboy, literally outfit, and it is a child understanding what the real life would be if they had their way. And my notes is it feels like a Norman Rockwell painting narrated by the kid that's in the painting
Hmm.
the way they wanted it to go. And the Norman Rockwell for me, because
If the
it is
kid was an
just,
narcissist.
if the kid were, yeah, if the kid was a self-absorbed fool, agreed.
Yeah.
So my thing with the Norman Rockwell is it is so just saccharine 50s 40s Americana. It's just
Yeah.
and I don't have any passion. I don't have any love for that.
No.
Although, ask me what my favorite scripted television show of all time is, and I'm going to tell you it's House or Mad Men. One of those is a period drama. Like, I know that. But that Mad Men glorifies that era of Americana in a tasteful, historically accurate, and almost reverent way.
Yeah.
This is just Norman Rockwell, just like, someone's got tchotchkes of this on their granny's like tchotchke shelf. It's just, ugh.
Mhm.
And I don't have any love for that era. So it it's like lived in memories. It's a postcard. Look at how charming this kid's bad trauma is. Isn't it cute? Like, there's no time
Mhm.
where I'm wanting to see them be mean to this kid.
Right.
And yeah, he could be a narcissist, but what kid isn't a bit of a narcissist because
Yeah.
they only know the world for the small amount of it that they've experienced? So, like, I'm not gonna say that as a kid I'm like, that kid's really self-centered, but I'm also gonna say, could we not just beat up on him again? Like,
So
it's
when it
Ralphie's
comes,
not nice. Like, it's not a great character
well,
either.
he doesn't connect with anybody.
No.
So like you think about like you said, like kids can be narcissistic. That's absolutely true. And there's so many good movies about kids, right?
Yeah.
Like and like not movies that are good for kids that are about kids, movies that are good for adults that are about kids, and movies that are kind
Yeah.
of good for both, right? So you look at like especially which I want almost the mid 80s, right? Like
Hmm.
this is the middle of what probably is like one of the best times, right? Or the start of the big best times for kids in movies. You get Stand By Me 2 years later or whatever. Stand By Me is excellent. Because yes,
Every John Hughes film.
well, John Hughes is teenagers, which is a
I
different
know, but
vibe, right? But like you got Stand By Me is kids that are like a little older than Ralphie, but they're not crazy older, right?
no, that's
And
true.
their dynamic is not that much different than Ralphie's should be with his friends. And yeah, there are moments of selfishness and there are moments of callousness or carelessness emotionally in those in Stand By Me, in it, which I know it is like later on, all right, but like
Yeah.
it actually takes place at the same time frame. I think, does Stand By Me take place in the 50s too, or is it the 80s? But it doesn't matter. Like you have, because those kid dynamics are somewhat universal, right? And Ralphie doesn't have any connection with anybody. Like he doesn't seem to give a shit about his brother. His brother cares about him because his brother's worried that his dad's going to kill him. But Ralphie doesn't care about him at all.
No.
Ralphie doesn't care about his, he's like, he doesn't care
He
about
doesn't
his
even care about his
friends,
friends. Yeah,
right?
like
So,
he abandoned them every time he had an opportunity.
right.
And
And
and I don't give him the agency that's okay.
no, no.
I didn't treat my friends like that. Like,
No. And you can, and it's a big thing in like Sandlot too. Sorry, the Sandlot was another good one. You have all these movies where like you can absolutely show kids making the mistakes kids make.
Bad News Bears.
I haven't seen it, but yes, but yeah, you can absolutely show these movies where kids are like, yeah, like I'm gonna be a little bit of an asshole sometimes because I'm a kid, but
Yeah.
ultimately I learn from the process. I learn, Ralphie learns nothing. Like Ralphie gets what he wants, almost actually shoots his eye out, fakes crying so that he doesn't have to fess up to what he's done. Like
Yeah.
there's no growth in this. There's no like it's so wild to me that like this is, like how did people connect to it? Like I just couldn't connect to it.
Shallow. People
Yeah.
connected to this movie on a very shallow surface level because they aligned with the trauma that
Hmm.
this young child, Ralphie, is experiencing. And it is this, and again, it's that saccharity, like not very intellectually mature
Yeah.
kind of connection where this kid has mean friends. Well, I had mean friends too. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get him, Ralphie.
But it's not
It's
even fun or funny in
no,
that way.
no,
And Ralphie's
no.
not even a hero. And like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no level. Like, I
The only
understand what you're
hero is
saying,
the lamp.
right? But like you might be like, oh,
It dies for the cause.
Ralphie's beaten up, but Ralphie's awesome. Like, other than the fact that Ralphie beats that kid up, eventually.
Yeah.
Ralphie does like is the worst. Ralphie's bad in every situation. So Ralphie's not redeeming himself. Ralphie's not like secretly cool. Ralphie's not doing anything like great, right? Ralphie just kind of sucks, and everyone sucks at him, and everyone sucks to each other for the most part, right? And it did not connect.
My biggest issue in production is like the family rituals of eating breakfast, eating dinner, getting ready for school. Like it's all just silly kind of physical comedy. And the
Comedy strong word.
well, when I say okay, when his mom's getting his brother ready to go out in the snow to
Yeah.
walk to school, right? It's she's struggling to get the snowsuit on. It's like you could put that same scene, and I
Okay.
bet you that exact same scene has played in like a Family Ties episode or a
Yeah.
Full House episode. It's no funnier than it's good for an audience laugh track chuckle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's moved on. And with the lamp, like the lamp is this, it's just quirky to be memorable. It doesn't have any other gravity. That it embarrasses his mother a little.
Mm-hmm.
It's this opportunity for the dad, old man Parker, to be this somehow intellectual hero when he's out on the street, like telling all his friends, "Oh, I won it for an award using my mind." Like, no, you didn't. You're dumb, and you're even made out to be dumb by your own wife.
Yeah.
So it's just, and even their marriage felt like an I Love Lucy marriage, that they sleep in separate beds. Like it was absolute of that era.
Except that that Lucy and Ricky love each other.
Okay. More Ethel and Fred. It's more Ethel and Fred than it is Lucy and Desi.
So okay, I want to say a few things about some of the things you just got into. I agree with pretty much everything you just said, but so it's not disagreeing. It's reiterating.
You better
Uh,
not be.
so the family ritual stuff, the 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 getting the snowsuit on thing to me is a throwback, or maybe it's a call forward, I guess, to what we now have with some versions of meme culture, where it's like, remember Light Bright, and people are like thumbs up for like Light Brights, or like
Yeah.
just and it's like, why did you like that's not that you just showed me a thing, like, and there's a
It's
lot of
not funny.
movies.
It's
There's a
not
lot of
funny or
movies that
interesting.
do flashbacks, right? That we like,
Yeah.
or movies that especially like I feel like 80s stuff, like stuff now going back to the 80s, Stranger Things.
I was literally
stick
about to say Stranger Things with the Light Bright, but my
right,
wife and I, when we saw that on the screen, looked at each other like, "You had a Light Bright, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I had a Light Bright." But we're not going to watch Ralphie's
right,
son or Ralphie's
but
brother go in the snowsuit and be like, "Oh, remember how bad that was? Remember you had
yeah,
to pee right when it was done?"
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, and so but there's a lot of movies now where I feel like when they do the flashbacks, they need to throw at you 100 like brands from the era, and like they have to
Okay.
constantly be, you know, like, oh, like, remember we're in the 80s, so it's a light bright. Remember we're in the 80s, so it's a Rubik's
New
cube. Remember
Coke.
we're in the 80s, it's a new Coke.
Yeah.
And there's so and they inundate you with it. This movie felt like it did that with a family dynamic instead of with brand loyalty.
Ooh.
And it was
Oh,
like,
that's good.
remember we're in the 50s and nobody loved each other yet. Like we hadn't discovered, like, you know, like, and Sarah and I always joke because
Holy shit, that's so good.
when we hear like my grandmother and some of her grandparents, when they talk about their parents, there's like this, like, that, you know, the what is the like 1930s, 20s and 30s generations called? They're not the greatest
Silent.
the silent. Okay,
No, I think it's silent. Yeah.
whatever. Though when that generation talks about their parents and they're like, well, that's just the way it was. Like my mother didn't like the color of my skin, so I was off to church with my grandmother because my mom basically neglected me. And they're like, just the way it was. And there is that like level of it that, like, oh, like parents just didn't love kids yet. Like that's a
Yep.
thing. And this movie felt like that in every. I mean, like, I actually think Ralphie's parents aren't as bad as I'm making that sound, but because
No.
there's a little bit of moments where you of recognition towards the end, but like there is just that, like, you've seen the, like, my Disney princess on the shirt, and then the husband's shirt says like some version of my wife's a stupid who made me pay for this trip,
Yeah.
like, and it's like, you know, people saying like, oh, all these jokes are like, it just sounds like you hate your wife or you hate your kids. This movie felt a little bit like that.
An hour and a half of I hate my kids jokes.
Yep. I hate
Wow.
life. I hate I hate everything. I hate the neighbor and his stupid dogs, and like, you know, it's so. All right, so that's the first thing. Well,
That was such a good take. I love that. It's nostalgia without a brand. It's, remember, it sucked. We have a broken down Oldsmobile. We put soap in our kids' mouths when they would
Yeah.
swear. Like, oh god,
Yep.
that is so good.
Yep. Oh, it was just
Oh, shit.
it was. Remember, people used to hate kids, and
Yep.
like we used to make you go to factories, and you're lucky to be alive.
Right. I was about to say, you're lucky to be alive. Oh my god. When his brother won't eat, there's starving kids who would love to have that. My mother said those very words to me.
Sure, and that's like common, but like, so actually that the kid not eating thing really didn't phase me until the piggy scene. And then I was like,
That is uncomfortable.
it was so uncomfortable because there's like a sense that like everyone's in on the joke, so it doesn't feel like the same level of cruelty as the other scenes do, but the act itself feels cruel.
No,
like,
no,
eat
no.
it, piggy.
Right. It's just as cruel to me because his brother doesn't quite get it. I actually think it's just as cruel because he's doing it because it's getting a laugh reaction out of his mother.
Yeah.
It's not like he's doing it because, haha, I'm a pig. No, he's doing it because it's making his mother chuckle, and his mother's chuckling at her son's now food covered face. Like, that's evil. That's
It
not.
was-
It's tragic humor. But it's not
just
tragic
was
humor
like-
with like that nice sarcasm layer that makes it kind of funny and self-brooding.
It felt
No,
icky.
it's just bad. Yeah.
It felt emotionally icky.
Yeah. No wonder my mother didn't let me watch this. She wouldn't.
No.
This is not one I was allowed to watch as a kid. Ever. Ever.
I saw it. I definitely saw it as a kid because I remember the fudge scene. But I don't really remember beyond that. Also, like that part seems crazy to me. That like the fudge scene when he's like asking when she's like, "Where did you hear that word?" And he's like, "It's like, why wouldn't you just say the father?" First of all, why did the mother ask that question when we all saw them at the vent while the father was saying "rabba rabba dabba 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 do"?
We heard that, and that's because of that. You know what? It's that 1950s "your dad's a god" thing.
Yeah,
it is absolutely. You would never throw your dad under the bus, even if it's the right answer.
I get that. That's why the kid doesn't do it. Although that's
why does the mother ask? Because
why does the mother ask?
Because she doesn't see his cursing as bad because he's an adult.
No, but,
he's allowed.
Where did you learn that word? like that. I mean, I guess that goes back to them being stupid, like them just being like stupid.
Yeah, somewhat.
But anyway, I didn't like that. This theme of this episode. I didn't like that.
I didn't like this episode. Frankly, I don't like it. For me, just my final on production. Sucks to be a kid isn't a theme for a movie, and if you're gonna do that, this is not the way to do it.
Agreed.
Sucks to be a kid. Watch some Nicktoons. You'll experience it just fine. Montage plus narration, it doesn't sell it for me. It kept me from sitting with a moment long enough to notice it was shallow, so it kind of like pushed it along. And when I'm doing a critique with someone like this was a perfect example of why I know I don't like this film. When you, Mike, ask people what they remember about this film, what do they tell you?
Nostalgia.
Like what are some scenes that they recall?
The bunny suit and the Santa scene.
Bunny suit, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing to Ralphie. Santa, him clamming up, embarrassing to Ralphie, scary for Ralphie. So many of the things that people recall from his film when I've talked about it is always like bad editing to me, because the editing would like deliver the sadness and then just we're moving on. Like it was there for such a scant moment because, the kid clams up. Like you could have made that cute. But instead, the Santa's like talking to the elves. Don't think I'm going to work a minute after 5 for these assholes, you know. And then that's a wet one when they sit the kid on his lap because either the kid was wet with snow or pissed himself, and then he shoves Ralphie down the slide with his foot. It's just so like it was never the director and writer never let the trauma sit long enough.
Right.
For me to actually process it. It was just bad thing happens to Ralphie. Next bad thing, and it was never, in difference from our last episode last week. It was never long enough for me to really feel like something had happened. Right. It was always just let's stack more of Ralphie's life isn't fair on the pile.
I agree. I also think like when you look at there are movies that do like this vignetting thing fine, right? But the way you do it is you either have the vignettes focus on different characters. This is vignettes of Ralphie the whole time.
Yeah.
Or you have like a through line, and this has a through line in the sense that like sucks to be Ralphie, and Ralphie wants a gun. And that's like the through line. But Ralphie doesn't learn anything. He doesn't. There is no like. It's just
he learns to drink his Ovaltine.
Yeah,
with his Annie's secret decoder ring.
That was the only part that made me actually laugh at this movie.
A little bit, yeah, me too. I'm serious.
And he goes, "Son of a bitch," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay,
drink.
You got to laugh out of me."
Ovaltine. A stupid ad. Yeah. No, I agree with that, and if everybody recalls all the trauma stuff from this movie as the stuff they remember, like everything you remember from this film is something bad happening to a character. You're never like, wow, Ralphie got his gun. Yeah. Like that's not what people tell you about. It's like you said, they're dressed in an embarrassing bunny suit. He gets his tongue stuck to the pole. Like it's never a good thing.
Do you know this? Do you know what the catch line or the tagline for this movie is?
You'll shoot your eye out.
No, on the poster.
Oh no! What is it?
'Tis better to give than to receive. And the only thing I can take from that being the tagline is that the word that's missing from that is shit. 'Tis better to give shit than receive shit.
Give shit and receive shit.
That's got to be it, right? Because it's about everyone giving everybody shit.
Yeah, it really is. Like and even when Ralphie said when his mom goes to clean, she has the red watering can. She goes to water the plants in the window. and the next thing that happens will be discussed forever. It's like, yeah, she's gonna go break the lamp, duh. Like, and then there's the whole scene of of old man just like, I'm so angry that you ruined something of mine. It's like, that's your wife, bro. Make it
Mhm.
comedic. But there isn't even a time that wasn't
Right.
even that wasn't
And we
even like
hadn't seen
taken.
any warmth from them. So like if you saw
No,
warmth and you saw that moment, then you'd be like, okay, there's like something here.
there's
But
tension.
without
Yeah.
warmth between them, it just comes off as you dumb like like there is no like you know what I mean? Like it does not feel like these are people who love each other. It
No,
feels like these are people who decided like we will be able to afford a house together, and we both want kids, I guess, because we want
I
someone to take care of
guess,
us
and
when
I
we're
love that.
old.
I guess the way you said that,
Yeah,
we both want kids. I guess.
yeah. Like you know, like that is what the majority of this movie feels like. Is like you know,
Yeah.
like we're partners, and I need someone to clean my house, and you need someone to pay for it. Like not because I love you or I'm attracted to you or
Yeah.
anything. Like there is no sense of that for 75% of this movie.
No, and my dad, I swear on Darren McGavin's lips, the guy who plays Old Man Parker, something my father always said is children are meant to be seen and not heard.
Yep.
That is something I swear that that character has said out loud. And
Okay.
like said it to his wife, and his wife's like, you know, boys, you were being really loud. Stop being loud when daddy's having his paper reading time. Like,
I
ugh.
okay. I think the dad is worse to the mom than he is to the kids. I
Oh,
think
100%,
and I think the
100%.
mom is like all there's a lot of points in the movie where it almost feels like the mom is a worse person than the dad. Like when she's singing along in the car and they're all singing like whatever you know, jingle bells, and they're all like trying to make him veer off the road and kill them all. Like they're just screaming the words. She is screaming just as
The
loud and just
loudest, yep.
as violently as whereas
Yes.
like he is genuinely like the kid wanted a gun and like there are moments where he's actually a human. There's very few moments except for when she's like when she doesn't tell the dad the about the fight or whatever, or she
Yeah,
glosses over it, is the only part where she seems to be remotely caring for those children.
that's
And
true.
so like you know and he even a couple times does this thing where you know, especially during the Christmas scene, which was my favorite, the Christmas Day scene, you know, he is kind of like, all right, guys, what are we going to do here? Like, there's a little bit of like
He
happiness
has
to
some
him.
joy. He has some joy that he's about to give a gift to his children. There is that. That's
Yeah.
true.
All right. So I told you I had some hot takes on this. So,
I gotta hear him, bro.
okay. So my first hot take will be a positive that I got from this movie. Um, so
You
one
don't
of
have to
my,
watch it again?
yeah, that's a positive. No, so something that drives me crazy about Christmas movies for kids Christmas movies, not like you know, is that there is this thing that they do where like you know you're making this movie for kids to see, and yet no adults believe in Santa Claus in the movie. This movie
Hmm.
implies that none of the adults, but they never say it outright. Like
Okay.
even you know like when the dad when Ralphie's going back for the rifle and she's like who's that one from? And he goes, I don't know, Santa.
Oh,
Like,
no, Santa.
yeah, we as adults could be like, oh, he's being silly or being playful with her, but the kids aren't going to be like, you know, oh, why is that grown up not believe in Santa? He must see the presents come for his kid that aren't from him, right? So like they almost I don't think they ever crossed that line. So that was something that I thought was really good about this movie. Was I was like
Do you think it
because
was
it's a
intentional? Or do you think it
I
was
don't
just
know
happenstance?
I don't know. Um,
I think
if
it's
it,
happenstance.
I
I
think
don't think that was purposeful writing.
I would be I would be it would be easy to convince me that it was happenstance. I think that that's not, but I just think it works. Like I think you
Yeah,
know, there's lots of stuff in movies that is happenstance that happens to make the movie better, right?
that's true.
So like let's give credit where credit is due. So that's my first one. My second, this is going to be a theme that we're going to talk about when it comes to the Grinch as well for me. So like I don't know how you feel about Christmas. I have never been a Christmas fan. I don't like Christmas. You're saying you don't either? Yeah.
I don't
But
even like I don't like decorating the tree. It's anxiety
yeah.
inducing for me.
So
I don't like doing it.
I used to be when I was before I got on my meds and was less of an asshole. I used to say, like nobody really likes Christmas, which I kind of always have felt like everyone wants to think that they like Christmas and everyone wants to like be there for Christmas and do like the Christmas thing, but like everyone gets stressed out, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I feel that way still. But like I used to feel that way, and people would always be like, "I love Christmas. What are you talking about? Christmas is great. I love Christmas."
No, you love the
And
thought of it. You don't love doing any of it.
what I was gonna say though is the people like you and I who don't love Christmas and will openly admit that we don't love Christmas. The Christmas movies we like are the ones that are pure and that are and
Oh.
the people who are like, you gotta love Christmas. Christmas is awesome. They love the movies that are like this, that are cynical. And I'm like, but I'm the cynic about Christmas, and I like the pure thing, and you're the pure Christmaser, and you like the cynical thing. You like
Oh.
the cynicism of this movie. You like the commercialism of other Christmas movies. You
So
like the
you
stuff,
hate it just like everyone else, but can't admit it. That's why you
right?
like this.
And well, I also think
Ooh.
it's that mirror of like they say um like really the artists who make the most violent movies are sometimes the least violent artists,
Yeah.
and and vice versa. And you get like Bill Cosby, who's like, we're going to be proper, and then we're going to do the wrong thing in real life or whatever. So there's that like opposites thing. I think that that's what's happening with Christmas is like, I love Christmas. I love watching that movie where everyone hates each other, and where you and I
Misery
are
loves
like,
company.
and you and I are like, I don't love Christmas, but like A Muppet Christmas Carol is so wholesome, and I love it, and
Right.
it's what I want Christmas to be,
Yeah. Okay.
and It's a Wonderful Life is like you like this,
Heavy but good.
it's heavy, but it's also hopeful,
Yes.
and so we as like we as the non-Christmasers like the movies that are like a little more like back to your point saccharine or like hopeful or generous of spirit are the things that we all say Christmas is supposed to be about, but people have changed. Christmas is largely materialistic, and
Yeah.
and like that's what I want to talk about when we get to Grinch too. Is like I think that that's an interesting dynamic too. Is like how people who profess Christmas love express Christmas love, and we I really do think that there's something to that. Like those of us
Ah.
who are a little more hard-hearted about it are like, yeah, but it was a really sweet movie, right? Like,
Right.
like, like how can you
Oh wow.
how can you hate little tiny Tim as a frog? Like, how can like you just want to like squeeze him and be like, you're gonna be okay, Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
And then
No. Okay.
everybody who's like, I can't wait. There's 23 days left till Christmas, and I'm gonna watch these. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go caroling, and they're like, and I hate my bitch wife. Like movie.
Okay. You know what? I can appreciate that because examples of my wife's favorites. Christmas National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, one of her top Christmas films every year. Violent Night, new favorite for her and I.
Which side is she on? Does she love Christmas or hate Christmas?
She's very into it, but
Okay.
my wife is the hopeful to my cynic. She is
Okay.
absolutely the kind to my cold heart.
Right.
So
Reason I ask is
she doesn't like this movie though. She does not like A Christmas
right.
Story at all.
Right. Well,
And
and I think that like to the Christmas Vacation, I watched it for the first time as an adult last year. Uh, it was excellent, but there is a hopefulness to it. There is the comedy, and there's obvious, and there is some cynicism, but
there's genuine
ultimately,
comedy in that.
yes, and there is growth and character growth and people coming back together, and
There's
there
real
is family.
arcs.
Yeah,
It's not. It
and then
sucks to be Walt. You know.
and as much as I like, yeah, and as much as I like these genuine Christmas movies with like sweetness. When we get to Violent Night, I'm excited for Violent Night. I have never seen it, but like I think that I will like it. But I just think it's these ones that people hold up as classics. Like Violent Night's not going to be held up as a classic,
No.
but like the ones that people hold up as classics, sometimes you're like, but is it like why? But why is it a classic? Like
It's a
it has none of the Christmas spirit to it. It
yeah.
has none of like I genuinely like it is nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, and now it's you're nostalgic for a thing that made you nostalgic. Like, and
Okay.
it's nostalgic inception.
So for me, one of my notes is it's nostalgia cosplay. It's nostalgia. It's a frame wearing a nostalgia shirt that you're supposed to think is nostalgia because it says nostalgia and it's blinking at you. Like,
Yeah.
hey, stupid! This is your childhood. If
Yeah.
I need to be shouted at like that, it's not genuine.
No.
It's not, and that's why, to me, Christmas was never. It's not that I don't like spending time with my family, but I don't think I need a holiday to do it. And
Yeah.
and the cultural legacy of this film, if you ask people, what do you remember? It's all the embarrassing things in this film. Yes, that's most of what is in this film, but the fact that those are the things you remember, like, how is that a good thing to remember? How is that a movie you want to think about? You know what my favorite thing about A Christmas Story is? All the times that Ralphie got fucked with. Like, oh, yay. What
So
a happy memory. Like,
at some point in the movie last night, I paused it and I Googled, why do people like A Christmas Story?
what
And
was the
now
results?
Google has that AI overview thing now. So I'm going to
Yeah.
read you verbatim
I
what
wanna hear
Google
it.
says. The first sentence is like, oh yeah, perfect, dead on, that's exactly it. And the second one, you're like, what the fuck? So people enjoy A Christmas Story due to its powerful nostalgia, relatable family dynamics, and humorous yet heartfelt portrayal of childhood Christmas. And it's like, yeah, it is relatable and it is nostalgic. I don't really like, other than like the one thing with the decoder ring, I didn't laugh at anything.
No.
And and like as far as like heartfelt, like I Christmas morning is the closest to heartfelt in the movie, and it's not terrible.
But
Like that is my favorite part.
it didn't create that. That is a
No,
known heartfelt container. There's
right,
nothing that the film made that into heartfelt. It's
but
expected to be.
what it did was it did strip away all the cruelty of the scene. Like every other
Fair.
scene has
Okay.
cruelty.
No,
That
fair
scene
enough.
has
Yeah.
no cruelty.
Fair enough. What's the next one?
So that was the whole thing. And
Okay.
the film's enduring popularity is also linked to its widespread availability through holiday TV. So
Yeah,
I mean that
McDonald's is
actually
available too, but that doesn't mean it's
was
good.
pre streaming. That argument holds up a lot better for me because there's lots of movies where it's like, yeah, I've seen that. Like I'm going to use a couple of examples of movies that I think are actually decent movies, but I've seen them a ton of times, not because they're decent, but because they were on USA in the
Okay,
90s all day long.
right. The
So
distribution
like,
rights were pretty
yeah,
open for them. Yeah.
Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, you could just watch them anytime you wanted to, even if you
Yes.
didn't own them, right?
Correct.
Even though it was like the TV edited version. So it's like, yeah, blank you, dad, blank you. Like, but so like that part holds up to me. It's like, oh yeah, if you put it on USA or TNT or whatever on 24-hour marathons for December in the 90s, like, yeah, people would watch it because there's nothing else to watch. Like, that's not a good argument for a movie.
Oh wow!
Again,
People watch A Christmas Story because there's nothing else to watch.
well,
Ooh.
that was what part of what made it like stick. And now there's
Oh,
like
that is so good. That is so
there's
good.
the nostalgia for it, and it's like, okay, well, I also have nostalgia for if you need cash back, call the general for cash back now, because it played every time I was homesick, right? But I don't want to watch the general
I have a
ads
structured settlement, but I
or
need cash now.
what was the
J.G. Wentworth.
1-800-54 giant call giant glass, like
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Like I have nostalgia for that, but I'm not going to watch
the Jenny
it.
Craig jingles. I remember all of those. Same thing. It was always on
Yeah,
TV.
exactly.
Okay.
Like, so like, yeah, it was on TV when you were a child. That's not the same as enjoying
That's not
it.
that's not a mark of quality. Because it's
No.
there doesn't make it good.
Earworm by just constant berating of of the thing into your head is not the mark of quality. Okay.
is it's less of a Christmas movie than a childhood grievance compilation with tinsel kind of wrapped around it. It's just so it's here's your package sadness with a bow. Like and the package sadness, you know what? The package sadness in this film is what children's cartoons on Nick Jr. is supposed to be, but we didn't spend a whole studio budget on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bluey has to learn how to share with her sister Bingo. We don't need an hour and a half to go over it. We need 18 minutes and a fun dad character. By the way, that's one of the best dad. A dad healer is one of the best, but also one of the worst examples of a dad because no dad can ever measure up to him.
I was gonna call you out on that bit.
No, because I know it to be true because I'm Uncle Dad and I can't ever measure up to him. But like all of his lessons are packaged lessons in children's like educational television. It's not we need more than a half an hour and some of that's commercial breaks to talk about it.
Do you recommend this movie?
Absolutely not.
I'm on the same page.
Wow. Okay.
For the audience, Alex is laughing because he's seeing not only his own score that he put into our scoring
but
system,
yours,
but my score, which
God.
is worse than his score.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead?
It is worse.
Go ahead with your score.
So for me, fun and watchability, I give it a 2. And this is out of 10, folks. The reason I give it a 2 is because this is not a movie I'm going to recommend you watching for your first time because it doesn't have any redeemable qualities other than it's something you can now bitch at your friends about. Mm-hmm. So it has a redeemable quality, not as an audience, but it has a redeemable quality that you can find other cynics like Mike and myself who you can complain about in the comments of this podcast episode. Mm-hmm. And the reason I gave it a 5 of quality is because it is the McDonald's version of film. It is a film. It is edited. It does not have glaring issues with sound or production or color or balance or correction or anything. It's beige as a movie. It is the Toyota Camry from 1990 in premium beige with the beige interior. It is film.
Yes.
It is a reason to play TV ads for toys in December.
Yeah. All right. So my scoring for fun and watchability, I gave it a 1 out of 10. And I will explain that. So there are bad movies that are fun to watch. You think about The Room, you think about Showgirls, and it's like, yeah, they're not
good point.
They're not like my favorite thing, but there's something there to like enjoy.
Okay.
Even if you're laughing at the movie. There is like nothing. I would have given it a 0 if it wasn't for like the one single laugh that I got out of this.
You mean chuckle? The chuckle.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a laugh.
It wasn't a full laugh.
No.
I would have given it a 0, like otherwise, because it's not like, oh yeah, this is a really badly made movie, but it's enjoyable.
That's the thing, right?
It's or it's like there's we talked you and I talked about Demolition Man a few weeks ago off the podcast, and Demolition Man, I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's like not what it was intended to be, and has become awesome in that way. This movie is like it's not even like fun at being bad to me, so like I gave it a 1.
How about this? Consider what else Bob Clark has done. Will definitely bring that home. Porky's, Baby Geniuses, and Black Christmas are all not great.
Which one was Black Christmas? Porky's
Christmas
is like Porky's was just like an excuse for boobs, right? Wasn't it? Like it wasn't even that funny of a movie. It was...
But think about A Christmas Story and Porky's. Porky's is an excuse for boobs on film. A Christmas Story is an excuse for childhood trauma on film. It doesn't hold up in any way on its own. So Baby Geniuses also just bleh. Like this director has not done a lot of fantastic work, that
No.
I'm going to recommend. Like, I'm not recommending Porky's to people because it's not even the Good Boob movie. That's Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And it's not even, and it's not even a good coming of age sex kind of movie either.
Mhm.
It's just, it's movie. Ugh.
Yeah.
And Christmas Movie is very much Bob Clark's version of Christmas Movie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And Baby Genius, I did see Baby Geniuses and was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not great.
Um,
It's just,
like
sorry, Bob.
Blonde. His last movie was Blonde and Blonder.
Oh my God. Is he the 50s dad? If his last movie is Blonde and Blonder, is he the 50s dad that's like, hey, you know, those big boobed blondes, they're my favorite. Let's make fun of
Yeah.
yeah, because isn't Blonde and Blonder kind of like a ditzy girl movie?
It's yeah. I don't remember the movie. I just saw it as it's Denise Richards and Pamela Anderson.
Well, the movie poster is the two of them literally with pink umbrellas and pink outfits in front of a pink like Cadillac, and it is just a 2.8 out of 10 with 4,000 reviews. It's not good, guys.
And it has one of the other Farley. Oh, it has two of the Farley brothers that aren't Chris.
It has the lesser Farleys.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, anyway. So we found out a trend with his movies. So you gave it a 1. You're not recommending it. You gave it a 5 in quality.
I haven't gotten there yet. 5 in quality, similar to your reasoning for the 5 in quality, is I think that technically this movie, when I say technically, I mean the technical aspects are serviceable. Like, I actually think that they did a pretty good job at recreating the 50s as far as costume design, cinematography.
Agree with that.
And everything. So, like, I felt like, oh yeah, like that part holds up. There's nothing technically bad about it. I mean, writing is technical, but like
the writing's creative.
Cinematography and design, production design and sound design, are all serviceable. To me, that is like, it's similar in that way to, again, Chocolat is like this. If you had good acting and good story, this would have been elevated up a little bit by that. But because I think that the acting is not terrible, but the story and the characterization is so bad that there's nothing to be really elevated by. So a 5. Which makes it's funny. Last week was our highest rated movie since we started the podcast, and this week is our lowest rated movie,
and lowest by like a fair amount. Yeah,
and it was funny too because I was like, a week or so ago, I was like, oh, you know what? We've like really liked everything. I mean, Rosemary's Baby was a little bit of a disappointment, but we still was like a good time. Still, it was worth watching.
I would recommend it to people.
Yeah, I would be like,
I'm not,
Yeah, exactly. With Rosemary's Baby, you're like, yeah, I mean, like, it's not like the greatest thing you've ever seen. It's definitely not what it's been hyped up to be, but it's worth watching.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm like, I don't understand at all.
Sorry, it sucks to be you.
All right, so next week we are watching Violent Night, which is 2 years ago.
I think so, yeah.
And that one is, I think, with Hopper, isn't it?
It is. Nope. Yeah. That is exactly who you're thinking of.
David Harbour. Oh, and John Leguizamo. I love John Leguizamo.
I do too. The Menu, if you haven't seen it, guys.
Maybe we'll do that next fall.
The Menu is a fantastic. Yeah, so this is David Harbour. It's written by Josh Miller and Pat Casey, and it definitely was cashing in on David Harbour's fame with Stranger Things, which is obviously his biggest thing ever. But it has enough rewatchability that I've seen it every year since 2022. So that's why I wanted to be on here. And yes, I will take credit for Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm going to put A Christmas Story on you. That's your fault.
100%. But when we first talked about these movies, we both were like, I feel like I hated that movie. and now we know for sure.
Now we know for sure.
And it's good for us to do a movie that we don't like every once in a
That's
while.
True. You have to frame it with something.
I don't want us to just be doing stuff that we love.
No.
I would not, like, I tried a year ago, I tried to be like, oh, maybe we should watch this movie. Like, maybe it'll be
okay, Kermit.
Maybe it'll be better than I remembered, and I couldn't get through it, and I had to force myself last night. And now I'm like, all right, never again.
Don't have to again.
And so, like, that is, like, again, that's what part of what I wanted to do with this podcast is, like, make myself sit down. Sometimes it's like, oh, you make yourself sit down and you're like, that was way better. I just never had the attention span.
Yeah.
I never, like, forced myself, and, like, some things are going to end up being great because of that.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the case with the Royal Tenenbaums 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
This is one of those ones where I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it, but I want to know for sure. And I'm glad I know for sure. And again, my family abandoned me on this movie, and
my wife did too.
My wife. So I'm totally fine with that. And but next week with Violent Night, I'm excited. I have different expectations. A, because it's not a classic. B, it's not a children's movie. So, like, I don't grade it the same. Like, when we were talking about the cynicism of, like, when I'm watching a movie that is a Christmas movie for kids, I expect it to be uplifting, upbeat.
Yeah.
Have a good arc at least. Like, it doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be like you said, saccharine.
I think
like,
you'll like Violent Night then.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like, I like Bad Santa. I like some of these movies that are a little more darker, but they're not made for kids. They're not made as genuine Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I liked Red One last year with The Rock and Chris Evans, about Santa getting kidnapped, and I like these sillier ones that are not like true Christmas movies in the sense that we think about. So I'm excited for this one, and I'm glad we're not just going through all classics all month long.
Yeah, true. And more importantly, we're going at stuff that we have dissenting opinions on. Not yet dissenting with each other, but definitely dissenting with a good amount of folks.
With society.
With society in general. Not only are we not both big Christmas fans, but we also don't like a classic.